Your prints suck, and not only do they suck, they break. And mine do as well, because when I tried to 3D print a pin like this that has this little head right over here, I didn't care about the settings and I just 3D printed it. But guess what happened? Well, the pins started falling off. So I had to find an easy and quite fast solution to this problem, and I'm gonna show you how to do it just in your slicer without any modeling at all in just a few seconds. And if you watch till the end, I have even a bit of a secret and more advanced tip if you aren't scared to go deeper. This problem is often called breakpoints, and if we don't want to go and edit the STL file itself, we can just adjust the settings a bit, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in Bamboo Slicer, so let's look in there. As you can see in the slicer, I prepared two test models that I'm going to show you how to do it on. And as you can see, when I 3D printed it with normal settings, it broke pretty easily. And so I'm going to show you how to make it better so that it doesn't break so easily. When we want to make a part stronger, we go into the strength settings right over here in the slicer. But if we were to set, for example, the infill to 100% for this whole pin, it would take so much longer and it wouldn't be even necessary because I don't need this whole thing to be so tough as the pin that just breaks. So what we can do is we add a height modifier or a layer height modifier. And how do we do that? Well, let me show you in the slicer. To add a layer height modifier, you click on the part and then you right click. When you right click, a menu is gonna appear. In the menu, you're gonna search for height range modifier. Once you click the height range modifier, range in your objects is gonna appear. When you click on it, you need to set a range of layers we're gonna be editing. To know what kind of a range we need to edit, you can actually just easily slice the plate. By using this slider, you can find which layers you actually need to edit. So find the layers we want to edit, which is pretty much from where the pins start printing. So that happens for me at 10 millimeters or layer number 50. So I'm gonna set it to, since I have it in millimeters, I'm gonna set it to 10 millimeters from the start. And then it asks us how far. So because I need it for the whole pin, I can just set a very high value. If you need to set it for example, smaller distance, you can just see where the distance ends, as with the slicer as I shown you before, and do it that way. But I'm gonna set it to something high, let's say something like 50. And when you then click on it, in the prepare, you can see the range that we're actually editing, just like this. Okay, so that's the range we're gonna be editing, and now when you clicked on the range settings, you can actually start editing these settings, and it will only apply to this part only. So once you have selected the range, you can go into strength and then edit, for example, the sparse infill density. We can set it to 100, and then if you slice it, I'm gonna show you quickly. Look at what happens. The pins have 100% infill, even though the bottom has a much smaller infill. Well, that's amazing. Now the pins are gonna be much tougher than the bottom. So that's pretty much the point of height range modifiers, and now you can start playing with this setting. And it's really fun to see what all you can do. Now let me show you a quick tip, or a bit more advanced, as I said, that's gonna give you a lot more, let's say, space to work with, because 100% infill can be quite hard to print sometimes. So instead of just printing it at 100%, you can just choose an infill that is actually very strong, and then just set the infill a bit higher so that it even strengthens the model itself. So for example, my favorite one is to do about 80%, and instead of doing rectangular pattern, I'm gonna do gyroid, or however you read that, gyroid. Okay, this one right over here, as you can see, that's one of the stronger infills out there. And as you can see right now, instead of being 100% infilled, it's actually filled pretty decently. It's pretty dense, but it isn't full, and this actually allows the printer to not have to deal with 100% infill all the way up. So that's a quick and secret tip, and I hope you have learned something from this, how to add a height range modifier. I don't think it's that complicated. It's just good to know that that thing is there and use it. use it and experiment with it. You can do a lot of things with this, so find out what works the best for you, what your use case can be, and how you can fix models just like this that just break easily. So I hope you enjoyed, you took something from this, it can help you in your projects, and I'm looking forward to having you here next time. Also, if you want to have even more 3D printing knowledge, you can check out my other videos here as well.